Well, Bill, you've written a certain amount of serious books on thinking processes, on manufacturing, and so forth. And you surprised me, I think you surprised quite a few people by recently, this year in 2014, bringing out a rather different book called He Said, She Said. What is this?
That is it's a labor of love that has been more than 20 years in the making, and actually close to 24. In 1989, very shortly after I retired from the Air Force and started in teaching at the University of Southern California, I found that there were quotations that I would come across that related very well to management and leadership. And the program that I was teaching in essence, was all about management and leadership. So I would pull these quotations out and I would use them in my classroom presentations. And I thought, you know, I think I need to start collecting these so I can find the right quotation to use for the right occasion or the right topic material. And so I just started a computer file in Word, and we're actually in WordPerfect in those days. And I think in the first year I had 20 pages of quotations, single space typed, 10-point type. In the second year, I think I got another 10 pages. By the 10th year, I had another 20 pages. And you can see what's happening here over the course of time. I'm adding fewer and fewer because I'm finding less worthy quotations. I think the reason for that is I got most of the really good ones. And so consequently, I think in the last 2 years prior to the publication of that book, I probably added 4.
And these quotations are not just any quotations on any subject, they are linked to management.
They are linked to leadership and management, both. And they're topically oriented by things like communication, loyalty, honor, things of this nature. And I used those liberally. When I started writing my books, I'd put a quotation at the beginning and end of each chapter that was relevant to the material of the chapter, and you probably have noticed that, and even as far back as my first book. I have had people ask me for my list of quotations, and I've given them to them. Finally, I decided, since I was only picking up 1 to 2 quotations a year, it's probably time to publish them in a book. So I found a publisher in Texas who was willing to do that, and I was all prepared to drop the manuscript on the publisher. And I said, you know, I really think the manuscript is nothing but a list of quotations with the citations of who said it, if I had that, and then a bibliography at the end. And I said, I really need to run this in front of somebody whose opinion I trust. So I did. I ran it in front of a friend of mine who's a real estate agent and lives about 2,000 miles away. And she read the book and she said, you have got to sort these things and classify and categorize the quotations by subject, or people will never be able to find anything useful in it. And all I could think of was, oh my God. See, when you have a computer and you want to find something on teamwork, well, you just go into Word or WordPerfect and you search on teamwork, and it takes you to all of the quotations. But you can't do that on a printed page. So I said, oh, please don't make me do this. And she said, you have to do it. So I went ahead and did it. It took me another 2 weeks to get those things all sorted out by category. And then finally, I had enough at the end, when I got the sorting, I realized that there were certain people in there who had a lot of quotations from. People like George Washington, and Edwards Deming, General George Patton has several in there. And so I said, well, you know, I really need to extract all of the quotes from the people who have significant multiple quotes. And I put them in the back at the end. And then I had it published, and I that's it, basically. And coming up with a title, I was trying to think of how can I come up with a title that would really say what it is and basically pique people's curiosity. Well, since at least a good third to maybe almost half were quotations by women, I said, well, how about he said, she said? And then the subtitle is
Timeless Management Prescriptions.
And that's exactly what it is.
And to give, for those who don't know Bill or his tastes, just a short sample of who he is quoting. So we have Theodore Roosevelt, Henry Ford, Friedrich Nietzsche, Mohandas Gandhi, Isaac Asimov, The Book of Job, Niccoló Machiavelli, Albert Einstein, Frank Zappa, Robert Heinlein, Henry David Thoreau, and many, many others. So it's there are many different sources.
There are.
In there.
And I have to say, Frank Zappa's quote is probably one of my favorites.
And that is?
There are only two things that are universal: hydrogen and stupidity.
So, highly recommended. Everybody who I know who's bought it loves it. Thank you very much, Bill.
Thank you. I appreciate the plug. So.